Scorpio, a huge cash miracle is coming. October 25, 2025, is not just another day on the calendar. It is the moment the universe finally says, paid in full. What's on its way to you isn't a random stroke of luck, it's a divine settlement. The ledger of heaven has recorded your sacrifices, your silent prayers, your unwavering loyalty in the dark, and now, the transfer has been approved. Perhaps you've felt it already. A strange calm before something shifts. A sense that you're being pulled into alignment. This isn't your imagination. It's spiritual timing. As the sun returns to your sign and forms a rare, harmonious trine with Jupiter, the planet of expansion, wealth, and cosmic justitia, portal opens wide just for you. The timing of this alignment is not coincidence. It is consequence. And you, Scorpio, are standing at the edge of a celestial court, waiting for the verdict that was always meant to be yours. What's coming isn't charity. It's not a prize you begged for. It's not even karma in the casual sense. It's recompense measured, precise, and spiritually accounted for. You were never forgotten. Every door that was slammed shut, every loan denied, every job passed over, every tear you cried when the bills didn't match the belief that was not wasted energy. It was being stored, multiplied, and protected in what I call a divine escrow. If you found this video today, I want you to know it's not an accident. You were led here. The very act of watching is part of the energetic confirmation that the transfer has been initiated. And you're not watching alone. Other Scorpios like you are awakening to this cosmic reality right now. The energy is building. You can feel it in your chest, like a gentle pressure, or see it in the synchronicities that won't stop showing up. This reading is not just information. It is spiritual instruction. It is your reminder that you are not powerless. You are not forgotten. You are not broken. You are on the verge of being richly resourced, not for luxury or escape, but for alignment with your sacred assignment. Now is the time to claim it. In the comments below, write the words, "I am ready to receive my divine cash miracle." And if you've been seeing repeating numbers lately, maybe 77, 888, or 1010, drop them in the comments as well. Those numbers are divine time stamps from the universe, confirming that this moment is yours. Before we continue into the deeper revelations of the tarot and the prophetic astrology of October 25th, allow me a moment to speak from the heart. Thank you. Truly. Every like, every share, every comment you leave is more than just engagement. It is an energetic ripple that expands this space of healing, awakening, and alignment we're building together here on Miracle of the Sign. Your presence here is sacred. Your support fuels this mission to bring spiritual messages to those who are silently holding on. And believe me, dear Scorpio, you will want to stay with me until the very last second of this video. Because what the universe is about to reveal about your finances, your purpose, and your spiritual inheritance is nothing short of miraculous. So take a breath. Get centered. And ask yourself quietly, what brought you here today? What truth is your soul asking to remember? You're not just here to listen. You're here to receive. Let's begin. You've arrived at this part of the journey not by accident but by divine rhythm, following the pulse of something ancient and wise within you. And as we step deeper into the message, we are met with three sacred cards from the tarot: the Judgment, the Ten of Pentacles, and the star each a spiritual chapter in the financial awakening now unfolding in your life. These are not just cards, they are spiritual mirrors, reflecting the weight of your journey, the value of your endurance, and the restoration of a trust that once felt beyond repair. The judgment is never about punishment, it is about divine recalibration. It arrives at the precise moment when the inner and outer worlds are ready to align, when everything you have sown in silence is ready to surface with clarity. This card signals that a transfer has been initiated, not just in your bank account but in the spiritual records kept by the universe itself. It says, the delays were not denials. The silence was never abandonment. You were being prepared. What was taken from you, opportunities, dignity, security, has been reviewed. And those who suffocated your financial breath, whether systems, people, or patterns, are being removed from the equation. You are no longer on trial. You are rising as the verdict echoes, paid in full. The Ten of Pentacles deepens this message. This is not about sudden wealth for luxury's sake. It is about legacy. It speaks to something passed down, an inheritance, a forgotten asset, a family share, a contract long ignored. Perhaps someone in your lineage worked hard and never received their fair return, and now, through you, the cycle is being redeemed. Maybe you've been the one carrying the burden, the anchor of a generation, quietly restoring what was lost. This card tells you, the blessing that's arriving isn't just for you, it's for the bloodline you carry, for the generations that came before, and those still to come. Money is arriving not as mere currency, but as encoded healing. It has memory, and it remembers who stayed, who prayed, who persevered. And then comes the star, soft yet powerful. After the storm, after the judgment, after the long night, this card returns to your hands to remind you, you are not broken. You are being rebuilt in the light. This is the card of hope that doesn't demand evidence. It's the return of trust after long betrayal, the quiet knowing that whispers, you are safe now. Financial miracles aren't just about numbers theory, about permission to believe again, to exhale, to rest in the idea that you are no longer being punished for simply trying to survive. The star is the soft rain on the dry ground. It's not just what you receive, it's what you remember about yourself when you receive it. That you are worthy. That you were never forgotten. That grace is not always loud, but it is always on time. I've seen this play out in real life, again and again. A woman wrote to me, anonymously, saying she had been stuck for years emotionally and financially after a brutal divorce that left her with nothing. One morning, she found an old savings certificate her late grandfather had hidden in a forgotten box. It was substantial. She told me she cried not because of the money, but because it felt like a message, you were seen all along. That is the essence of what these cards are saying to you now. So if you are receiving this message today, let this part of your soul's reading be your permission to stop bracing for bad news. Let it be the moment you allow yourself to prepare not just for provision, but for peace. Remember, money is not the miracle, it is the means. It is the oxygen that allows you to rebuild, to reach, to rise. Don't treat it as a god, but don't reject it as evil. It is a tool entrusted to the hearts of those who have passed the test. And Scorpio, you have passed it. You may feel unworthy. You may be afraid to hope again. But the Judgment card doesn't wait for your perfection. The Ten of Pentacles doesn't demand your past to be clean. The Star doesn't require certainty. All they ask is that you show up now, in this moment, with your heart open and your spirit ready. Because what's coming is not just money. It's the restoration of trust in life, in provision, and most of all, in yourself. Scorpio, when we speak of wealth on the horizon, we are not simply talking about numbers increasing in a bank account. We are talking about the materialization of energy, sacred, precise, and long-held energy. What you are about to receive is the release of what I call a spiritual escrow. This is not a metaphor for comfort, it is a language of energetic truth. A spiritual escrow is an invisible holding place where the universe stores the emotional currency you've deposited over time. The nights you prayed for someone else while your own heart was breaking, the moments you gave without being asked, the times you forgave without an apology, and all the invisible labor of love you've poured into the world when no one was watching. This isn't just good karma, it is spiritual accounting. In the cosmos, nothing you have done in love or truth has gone unnoticed. On October 25, 2025, as the moon forms a harmonious trine with Jupiter, that ledger begins to release. This astrological alignment is not merely favorable, it's activating. Jupiter, the great expander, touches the emotional depth of the moon, and what is unlocked is not just abundance, but the emotional readiness to receive it. You are not being rewarded for performance. You are being restored because your soul endured and evolved. When you kept showing up for others, even when you were empty, the universe took note. And that's why what's coming is not luck, it's the return of what was always yours by energetic right. This energy is deeply tied to the idea that you don't have to beg for what you've already lived. You've proven yourself in quiet ways that the world does not measure through compassion, integrity, loyalty, and resilience. Think of this like a vault that's been sealed not for punishment, but for protection. Your abundance has been kept out of reach of those who might misuse it, distort it, or drain it. But the lock on that vault is loosening, not because you finally did something big enough, but because you've grown strong enough to carry what's inside with grace. One of the most powerful ways to prepare for this release is reflection. Take a few moments this week to journal the actions you've taken when no one else was looking. Write down the small kindnesses you extended, the emotional burdens you carried, the moments you said yes to someone else's need despite your own. This journal is not for public eyes, it is for your own remembrance. It becomes your energetic resume, a personal document of alignment. By doing this, you affirm to your subconscious mind that you are not waiting to become worthy, you are simply stepping into your time. As you move into this phase, physical rituals can help anchor the shift. Consider sitting with a deep violet or indigo candle, colors connected with spiritual clarity and truth, and letting the flame reflect back the truth of who you are. Wear shades of sapphire blue or pearl white to align your energetic field with receptivity and trust. These aren't superstitions, they are symbolic choices that help your body and spirit understand that change is not only coming, but welcomed. We often underestimate how deeply we are conditioned to equate financial stability with self-worth. And when that stability finally begins to form, many of us feel afraid, suspicious, or undeserving. This is why inner readiness is so important. You are not just receiving money, you are receiving permission to stop surviving and start living. This is your moment to drop the identity of the struggler and embody the architect of your future. Remember, you don't need to do more to earn this. You have already done what was needed. Now it's time to receive without guilt. Because true abundance isn't about accumulation, it's about circulation. And what's coming to you now is not for hoarding, but for holding, with wisdom, and eventually, for sharing. You are the channel, not the container. What flows to you is meant to flow through you into your community, your family, and your future. And when it arrives, when that check clears, when that call comes, when that letter is opened, you will know. Not because of the amount, but because of the peace that settles over your chest. The pressure lifts. Your breath deepens. And somewhere in your spirit, you'll hear it again: you were never forgotten. What's coming to you, Scorpio, will not arrive through any system you've come to expect. This money, this miracle, is not attached to your job title, a salary scale, or a market trend. It doesn't obey the rules of banks, economic forecasts, or conventional timelines. It comes from outside the frame. It slips through the cracks of logic and lands squarely in your lap with the soft force of inevitability. And this is where your life changes, not because you fought harder for it, but because the gates of divine timing are finally opening wide enough for your worth to be recognized in material form. There is a reason we've been building toward this. In earlier chapters of your journey, you were taught to strive, to push, to prove. But here, in this moment, the lesson is surrender, gracious, grounded surrender. The arrival of this financial shift will likely defy your rational mind. It might come from a name you haven't heard in a decade, or a tax refund that was long forgotten, or a return on an old investment you wrote off years ago. It could be a gift from someone you helped once, quietly, without expecting anything in return. Or perhaps a stranger will leave your name in their will, their soul having recognized your light in some unspoken, karmic way. The origin doesn't matter. The essence does. This is wealth that does not need your hustle to manifest. It needs your readiness to receive without fear, without apology, without guilt. And that might be the most radical part, learning how to receive without trying to shrink yourself or explain why you deserve it. Because you do. Because you've already given so much. Because you've held on with bare hands and bleeding hope. Because your spirit never gave up, even when your circumstances told you to. That's why it's coming. You are not being tested in the traditional sense anymore. But you are being prepared for a new kind of responsibility, one that begins with how you hold this blessing when it lands. Not how you use it to impress, not how you announce it to the world, but how you contain it in your energy without letting it define you. And that starts by allowing yourself to receive it with grace, not with fanfare. My invitation to you is simple: take a few days of quiet before speaking of it. Let the weight of it settle into your nervous system. Let your body adjust to the safety it brings. Then, when you're ready, sit down with pen and paper and write by hand this simple phrase every morning: I give thanks for the verdict that has been signed. Let those words remind you that this isn't a reward for being better. It's a confirmation that you were never broken. Money is not a savior. But it can be a bridge. It can give you the margin to breathe deeper, dream wider, and walk more freely into the spaces your soul has been aching to explore. Let it do that for you. Let it be fuel, not a finish line. And when the voices of old programming rise telling you to hide, to hoard, to prove something, remember what you've already proven: that you can be trusted. That your light won't be dimmed by abundance, but will expand through it. If you feel this message in your bones, if some part of you knows that this moment is yours, I invite you to anchor that knowing right now. In the comments below, write this phrase: I receive the sacred flow of money with humility and readiness for my higher mission. Let those words serve as your energetic agreement. Let them seal what your soul already knows: This isn't random. This is return. And as you walk into this new chapter, remember, you're not just receiving money. You're stepping into a new identity. One that was written long before the numbers appeared. One that was always waiting to be remembered. When you begin to feel peace without explanation, when your chest feels lighter and you haven't changed your routine, and when you open a bill and your heart no longer races, these are not coincidences. They are signals that your nervous system is no longer living under the invisible contract of lack. Scorpio, you've been carrying a weight that didn't belong to you. And now, in this part of your transformation, we speak not about money itself, but about what it takes to hold wealth without fear. We talk about unlearning what the world made you believe about worth, survival, and what you must suffer before you're allowed to receive. Many of us have grown up inside what I call the debt matrix, a mental and emotional system that wires us to feel like we must always be paying for our existence. It's not just financial debt. It's the kind that tells you you're a burden if you rest. That whispers you must prove yourself to deserve something as simple as joy. That makes you pause before buying something for yourself, not because of the price tag, but because of the guilt attached. This matrix is a system, and it has been silently shaping your choices since you were young. You've heard its language in quiet moments. You need to work harder to be valuable. You shouldn't enjoy too much, it might be taken away. You'll never be enough. These aren't facts. They are inherited scripts. And they are now ready to be rewritten. As you begin to shed this old framework, subtle but powerful changes begin to take root. You might find yourself breathing deeper without meaning to. Sleeping through the night without the usual tightness in your chest. You start to look at your future not as a risk, but as an open road. These are sacred signs. Not that money has arrived, but that you have energetically left the mindset that made you believe you had to earn your place in the world. The shift always begins in the body. Because the body has been keeping score. You are not just healing your bank account. You are healing the muscle memory of worry. The emotional fatigue of scarcity. This is why taking care of your physical self during this transition is not optional, it's essential. Start with your breath. Then move. 10 to 15 minutes of gentle movement each morning, stretching, walking, or dancing sends a message to your nervous system that says, we are safe now. We can receive. Replace overstimulating habits like excess caffeine with nourishing, magnesium-rich foods, leafy greens, pumpkin seeds, avocado. Not because you are broken, but because your body is finally ready to hold peace instead of panic. These may seem like small things, but they are acts of rebellion against a system that told you your body must always be in tension to succeed. And Scorpio, you are not here to survive anymore. You are here to thrive fully, calmly, and without justification. There is a scripture I think of often in these moments. Not to preach, but to remind. Matthew 20 verse 16 says, "The last shall be first." And in this, I hear not just a reversal of position, but a reclaiming of identity. You who were overlooked. You who were pushed to the side. You who felt like your quiet goodness was never recognized, you are now being called forward, not to prove yourself, but to receive what was always meant for you. The psychological slavery of guilt is being broken. You are not a debtor anymore. You are an inheritor. And the wealth, both financial and emotional, that is arriving isn't here to change who you are. It's here to support who you've always been. This is your release from the invisible chains. You no longer owe the world an explanation. You owe yourself rest, nourishment, and the freedom to receive without shame. Let this be your gentle revolution. One breath, one thought, one kind decision toward yourself at a time. You are not being tested anymore. You are being trusted. What comes after the miracle may surprise you more than the miracle itself. When the money arrives, when the check clears or the transfer lands, it won't be the numbers on the screen that challenge you, it will be what you choose to do with them. And this is where your next spiritual assignment truly begins. You see, Scorpio, abundance isn't the conclusion of your journey, it's a transition point. The real test is not whether you can receive, but whether you can remain aligned in the presence of more. The universe doesn't fund retirement, it funds mission. And now that your account has been activated, your calling is asking for your response. You may feel it in small but immediate ways. The sudden arrival of old acquaintances with new smiles. Invitations into spaces that once excluded you. Subtle whispers from others, perhaps even from within yourself, that urge you to lay low, to hold on to it just in case, to hide your blessing out of fear that it might disappear. These are old echoes from the matrix of lack, trying to regain their place in a life that no longer belongs to them. And your job now is not to silence them harshly, but to outgrow them with grace. That's why this next step is not about how to spend, it's about how to remember. How to remember why this came to you in the first place. How to stay rooted when you are surrounded by glittering distractions. One of the most powerful healing practices you can adopt now is to sit in stillness and rewrite your soul's intention for this wealth. Not a financial plan. Not a list of things to buy. But a whispered, handwritten vow that might look like this. This money will support me in fulfilling the mission that was written in my heart long before I was born. Let that sentence become your compass. Because without a clear intention, even sacred abundance can become misdirected. What's more, let yourself start with a giving ritual, not from guilt or obligation, but as a way to energetically seal your partnership with the divine flow. You are not being asked to give everything. You are being invited to plant a seed. A simple act of generosity, a donation, a gift, a contribution to someone or something that once held you when you were breaking, is not just symbolic. It's alchemical. It turns your money into a bridge. A bridge between the pain you've lived through and the purpose you're stepping into. Consider giving from the first 10% of what you receive not as superstition, but as a sacred cycle of circulation. This is not money leaving you. This is money expanding through you. This principle is echoed across ancient wisdom. In Luke 6 verse 38, it says, "Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure pressed down, shaken together, and running over will be poured into your lap." This is not transactional faith. It's energetic law. When you give with clarity, without fear, you affirm that you are no longer controlled by the scarcity story. You are now living in the reality of spiritual supply. The more you circulate, the more you confirm to your subconscious that wealth is not a one-time fluke, it is a stream that flows through you because you've proven yourself to be a worthy channel. And in that, the glamour begins to fade. You no longer chase possessions for identity. You no longer hide for fear of loss. You begin to manage your money in the light, not with secrecy, not with superiority, but with a quiet authority rooted in your purpose. You track your spending not from fear, but from clarity. You make decisions not based on impulse, but based on whether something honors your assignment. You spend with vision, you save with wisdom, and you give with joy. Scorpio, you are not becoming wealthy for the sake of more. You are becoming wealthy because your spirit was called to build, to heal, to teach, to anchor new possibilities for others. Your wealth is a tool, and your integrity is the hand that will hold it. This next chapter is not about proving anything. It is about fulfilling everything. Walk gently. Breathe deeply. Give gratefully. And above all, remember this is not the end of your story. It's the first day of your higher mission. Scorpio, what you've just heard today is not just a message, it is a confirmation. A moment of spiritual alignment where the seen and unseen collide to deliver the verdict that's long been whispered over your life. The money, the miracle that is approaching you is not a one-time blessing, but the first wave in a sacred stream that has already begun moving in your direction. It's not something you chase. It's something you match, anchor, and allow. You are no longer the one who waits, doubts, or begs. You are the one who commands not with force, but with faith. Not through ego, but through energetic truth. The shift that is happening inside you is louder than anything the world can offer, and now, your role is not to explain it, but to embody it. Let this be your declaration: I no longer need to prove. I am the proof. Let your peace become your loudest answer. Your calm presence will be a sermon to a world still running in chaos. The more grounded you remain, the more magnetic you become to all that aligns with your divine purpose. So now, I invite you to do something sacred and simple. Comment below these exact words: I accept my mission of wealth. Because yes, Scorpio, wealth is a mission. It's not about accumulation, it's about circulation. It's not about flaunting, it's about fulfilling. And when you write those words, you're not just telling the universe you're ready, you're reminding your soul that it was always destined to carry this abundance. And if you know someone with a heart like yours, someone who's been waiting, hoping, holding on in silence, share this message with them. Let them know that they, too, are seen. That their name is on the scroll. That the divine doesn't miss a thing, and the ledger has never been wrong. Thank you for being here. Truly. Every time you like, comment, or subscribe to this channel, you are adding your light to a collective field of miracles. You are saying, yes, I believe. Yes, I am ready. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you for your support, for your energy, and for the faith you bring to this sacred community we are building together at Miracle of the Sign. So breathe in deeply. Feel the shift. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Now. You are stepping into the truth of who you've always been. Wealth is no longer just a hope, it's your inheritance. And this is just the beginning. I'll see you in the next transmission, chosen soul. Until then, stay soft, stay sovereign, and stay aligned. Your miracle has already begun.